Hello, my name is Alex and I would like to introduce my project, which is DAO for Oracles and was created for the Milkomeda DAO Hackathon. So first of all, I believe that Oracles is a crucial piece of the DeFi space and the whole blockchain infrastructure, because blockchains are isolated by their nature because of the security reasons and some other reasons, but unfortunately a lot of use cases require data from the real world to power these use cases. And this problem of powering blockchain with the real world data is actually solved by oracles. There are a lot of oracle providers, and Chainlink is kind of the leader in the space, but all of them didn't really solve the problem of reliability of their data, because no, it's not really clear what happens if the data are not correct, if data providers provided wrong data. So the solution to this problem would be creating some system with kind of a proof of stake for data providers and DAO for dispute resolutions. So if a provider wants to become a data provider in some Oracle project, they should stake some amount of DAO Oracle tokens. And then in case of any problems, if they provide incorrect data, for example, each DAO member can create a dispute and attach some amount of tokens. Then everyone can vote for the dispute, and the winner party will just receive the tokens from the party of losers. And this dispute resolution system will power the valid and trusted data. And if it goes to technologies that I used Milkomeda EVM compatible chain, which has low gas costs, which is extremely important for projects like this. And I've also used Redstone, which is the Oracle provider where I work as a lead developer. It kind of solves a bit different problem with the data delivery, but it's still an Oracle provider. And let's go quickly to the demo. So the first view of this front-end application that I've created has the list of disputes. Let's go quickly through the statuses of each dispute. So you have commitment status, you can commit your vote. When you commit your vote, you should specify if you consider the data provider guilty and lock some amount of tokens. For example, let's consider guilty and lock 10,000 of tokens. And then you see the MetaMask window. Let's reject for now. And you see the confirmation with the salt of your vote. This voting system works in so-called commit and reveal model, which means that you should commit your vote using cryptography. So you don't show your vote, but you lock tokens and you lock your decision. And then after 4 days, you should reveal your vote. If you don't reveal your vote, you will lose your tokens. If you reveal your vote, you should specify the salt that you've used and the proof, kind of the hash that actually matches with your locked hash. And if yes, then your vote is being counted. And 3 days after, the settlement stage appears and you can win if you are the majority, if you decided in the same way as the majority did, or you can lose your tokens. But it's extremely important that it has 2 stages with the commit and reveal, because otherwise lazy DAO members would just steal votes of majority, which would not create the trusted and reliable system. So yeah, everything is, all the code is located in the GitHub repository. I focused mostly on the contracts, and I've tried to create really secure and reliable smart contracts with a lot of tests and cover a lot of use cases. I've also created this kind of proof of concept for the front end, but there are other places which can be improved here. So if it comes to the market statistics, the Oracle market is huge and it's constantly growing because, as I've said, a lot of use cases are powered by oracles, and it's really important for decentralized applications to have reliable and trusted data and to get some refund in case of problems with the data delivered by oracles. So for the next steps, I would see creating the mainnet version, building a dashboard and improving the user interface, because as I've said, during the hackathon, I was focusing on the smart contracts part and the tests part. And in the Q1 and Q4 and Q2 of the 2023, I would build community for data providers and integrate with external dApps this system. So team currently consists only of me. I'm a development engineer in the Redstone Oracles, and I have some experience in the Oracle space, but I think there are a lot of people who would like to join the journey. Thank you very much, and yeah, thank you.
Last month, I was organizing Git Warsaw conference. It wasn't my first event, but it was definitely the biggest one. I observed the struggles of me and my friends firsthand, and I realized there are very few tools helping event organizers. The problem has also the second side. Communities like NFT collections are global and the members are scattered all over the world, while the events are centralized and often organized on occasion of bigger conferences like NFT NYC. This is why I decided to build an app for event organizers that provides trust and gives the power to the community. For a start, the app has a couple of key features. It can utilize both fungible and non fungible tokens for governance. Users can propose and vote for the next events. And after they are accepted by the community, users can sign up for the events and they can help to fund them. Here we have the demo of the app. This is the main view for the users. They can see a dashboard with all the upcoming events, and this is also the place where they can fund the event or sign up for the event. Here we have a simple list of all the DAO members, and in this place, every DAO member is eligible to create a new event, propose the title, location, date, funding type, such as no funding, internal funding, and external funding. And this is the place for the description if this is a meetup, a conference, or any other type of event. Later, everyone can show their support for the event in the voting panel, voting yes or no, simply to show the support if they think the event is worthy organizing. The app has been built on Milkomeda. It allows users to stick to well-known tools like MetaMask. Also, thanks to Milkomeda, the smart contract has been written in Solidity, and the front end for the demo has been built using Vercel. Right now, there are no such apps like EventDAO. The traditional apps for event organizers are focused on ticketing, calendar management, and attendee statistics. There are also blockchain-based ticketing systems like Unlock or Kickback, and they work pretty well. And in my vision, these apps are potential partners, not competitors. However, I could consider existing DAO tools as competitors. They are not at all focused on organizing events, but their general nature could allow them to be used for events. The next steps I can see for the app, besides launching in on the mainnet, are focused on adding more features to create a true one-stop tool for event organizers. The main one is a chat feature that would allow proposals to be discussed directly on the website, and another one are structures that would allow the DAO members to choose their representatives, for example, to manage off-chain funds. After that, it would be a good time to integrate one of the blockchain ticketing system, for example, Unlock or Kickback. The last two ideas, project management and statistics, are less urgent, but they complete the vision of a real tool for event organizers. And a couple of words about me. My name is Monika Zając, and I'm a blockchain product manager. But in my free time, I love to organize events for the blockchain community. And I would love to see and use a product like EventDAO. Thank you for listening to my pitch. If you have any questions, you can have a look at the documentation on Gitbook or you can contact me. Thanks.
Hello to the Milkomeda Hackathon judges. Thank you very much for finding the time to watch our presentation. My name is Aaron, and I want to tell you about our project for the hackathon, the Consensus Meter, as part of the Consens app, an agreement building platform. The problem that we wish to address is about decentralized governance, as it tends to be very often chaotic and confusing process, unstructured and unfocused, which make it very hard to manage decentralized autonomous organizations. What if we could make it better? What if we can create a decentralized governance and decision-making processes that are engaging with the DAO communities, that are accessible to all, that are dynamic and adjustable to the reality, that are scalable and ready to bring the revolution of Web3 to the world? How should we do it? Well, for that, we are building a platform that will allow a productive and open discussions that leads toward agreement. We believe that the best product for an online discussion is a document that represents the agreements of its participants. It can be very short or very long. And if you look at history, you will see that human society were gathered around a canonical document that represents their values and their vision and allows them to work together to achieve their goals. On the Consens platform, users interact with agreement by voting in very high resolution on each section and improvement suggestion for the agreement. Users can also suggest improvements themselves by editing the text and putting those suggestions into a vote. And of course, the participant can discuss the details of the agreement by commenting and replying. We are looking at it as a process with an input and an output. The input are the edit suggestions that added by the community members. The output is a document that reflects these agreements. The participant in the process can vote on every and each suggestion, but without adding more noise to the process. And those suggestions that receive enough support and stand for an approval threshold are entering into the document. Those that do not stays outside for further discussion. This threshold is impacted by the votes and impacting the vote, and by that taken into account the input from the community. How should we set and calculate the threshold? Well, for that, we have created the consensus meter. The consensus meter is a very simple formula that calculates the approval level of the document as an iterative process. The result is a process that is dynamic, but not chaotic, that is structured, but not frozen. Here you can see how the Consens app UI looks like. Here you can see where the participant can vote. Here you see the bar that represent how far this suggestion is from accepting or standing in the threshold. You can see where people can comment and take an active part in building the agreement that can be the baseline for the DAO's governance and management. And here is a look behind the scene of how the consensus meter behave. You can see that we are that at the beginning of the process, the consensus meter is very high, very close to 1. As we open the discussion for more ideas and more perspective, it falls sharply. But then, as more participants enter the process and using the voting features to express their idea, the consensus is rising up gradually. And by that, we can allow very large scale process for creating agreements and formulating consensus around those documents in a very visible and easy to use manner. Our plan for the next few months is first to launch the first version of the Consens app until the end of this year. Later on, we are planning to integrate a digital identity features into the platform to make it Sybil attack resistant. And after that, we will build the smart contract for the voting mechanism and deploy it on the Milkomeda C1 sidechain for it to be more secure and trustworthy. This is us. This is the Consens team. And please, you're most welcome to visit our GitHub repository for further information. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to reach me out. Thank you very much for listening.